You're listening to CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living. To learn more about who we are, what we do, and how we do it, call toll-free 1-866-928-3310, and we'll send you out a no-obligation information kit absolutely free. 866-928-3310. The CFRN Emini Futures Cast is now on Stitcher. Listen to us on your iPhone, Android phones, BlackBerry, and WebOS phone. Stitcher is smart radio for your phone. Find it in your app store or at Stitcher.com. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Are you ready, team? Andy? Yeah! Bert? Well, all right, fellas. Let's go!
You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Audible. Get a free audiobook download at www.audibletrial.com/CFRN. Over 85,000 titles. Choose from mystery, romance, religion, science, technology, business, New York Times bestsellers, even children's books. You name it, Audible has it. With 85,000 titles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect audiobook for yourself or to give as a gift, and it's absolutely free. Just point your browser to audibletrial.com/CFRN. That's audibletrial.com/CFRN. And become a part of the audiobook revolution by downloading your free audiobook today. audibletrial.com/CFRN.
Hey, trader, want to get rich quick? Well, good luck with that. If, on the other hand, you actually want to learn how to trade, the place to be is www.CFRN.net. Tune in Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern for our daily devotional, and then spend the next 3 hours learning how it's done from professional traders who actually trade for a living. That's www.CFRN.net. Every trading day from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Eastern. CFRN, a community of believers who trade for a living.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN Emini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things Emini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro, and even T-bills. Joining us today from our studios in Boston, Mr. Michael Borth. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon. Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, 25th day of February, 2020. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. If you can't see the screen I have up, go to our homepage at CFRN.net. On the right-hand side of the page, click the big microphone, follow the instructions. You'll be registered in about 30 seconds, and that will give you one-click access to the show each and every day. On the days you're out of the office, away from the desktop, not to worry, point any internet-connected browser to CFRN.net/live. There you'll find a live, real-time simulcast of the show as it unfolds. And you'll also find us streaming live in real time on YouTube, on Facebook, and Twitter. So, let us bring up a chart of the S&P 500 Emini Futures. Let's look at a daily chart. And there it is. Initially, we had elected this area as a place for potential support. And yesterday, we had a healthy bounce from that spot until we didn't, which then took us to this important low, where we also caught a bounce until we didn't. Now we're at this level, and then there's one more below. So let's scrunch it up a little bit, take a little more data into consideration. And we're going to agree that this leg began here. So we are at the 38% Fibonacci retracement based on the low established October the 3rd to the high established February 17th. Here we sit atop the 38. Now this next area for potential support is at the 50% Fibonacci retracement. Here's the 62, and look what we have just below that. Not saying we'll take out the 62, just saying if we do, you'll have a good idea where we're going to go to find support. I would be very, very cautious buying any of these bounces. Last night, early in the Globex session, it looked like we had an actual reversal as opposed to a head fake. Turned out it was a head fake, as you can see from the chart, trading substantially lower today. When we opened last night, we were printing green. Now, when I say a reversal, I mean a reversal only back up to the BBC, where we expect to find good resistance, okay? But from this point forward, until this market shows some true evidence of finding a bottom, and perhaps that comes through a change in the status of the coronavirus, maybe there's a vaccine coming, who knows? The market is almost in free fall mode. But the good news is it always comes back. Every single time. Why? Because that's what it's programmed to do. See how much data I can get here on the continuous contract. You see, all of the indices are combined of the best of breed. S&P is 500 best of breed large cap companies. There's a long list of qualifications to get into the S&P 500. And if a company meets them all, and there's an open spot, because there's not 499 or 501, there's only 500 companies in the S&P 500. But the minute one gets sick, misses their numbers, shows signs of being unhealthy, they are unceremoniously kicked to the curb, and a new, fresh, strong bull is brought in to replace them. So even when we get the worst December since 1932, which is what you're looking at right there, look what happens. You get a leg and a retracement, and a leg and a retracement, and a leg and a retracement, and then a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, a leg and a retracement, and before you know it, you're back at all-time historic. You're at new all-time historic highs. That's how the market works. So while it appears the sky is falling, it's best not to be going long. That's for sure. But don't worry. It will be back. Let's put it back on the current monthly contract. Okay. All right. I have a little bit of news. The United Kingdom-based digital bank Revolut has raised $500 million in a fresh funding round and tripled its valuation to hit $5.5 billion. This, as the Financial Times reported on February 25th, makes the crypto-supporting app one of Europe's most valuable fintech firms. Since late 2017, Revolut's app has enabled its users to complete transactions in cryptocurrencies that include Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ether, and even XRP. In December 2018, the firm received a banking license in Lithuania, paving the way for a transition away from prepaid cards towards offering a fuller suite of banking services. The new funding round was led by Silicon Valley venture capital group TCV, which invests in major tech players such as Facebook, Airbnb, TripAdvisor, LinkedIn, and Spotify. TCV's $5.5 billion valuation of Revolut equals the previous record set by a private European fintech. In 2019, that would be Sweden's Klarna. In 2018, the firm had been valued at $1.7 billion in a funding round led by early Facebook and Spotify backer DST Global. Revolut, which has a user base of over 10 million, saw customer growth rising by over 150% last year. Alongside its cryptocurrency and stock trading features, the firm is looking to expand into lending services and is pursuing a UK banking license. The UK is proving to be a highly lucrative market for disruptor banks, sometimes dubbed neobanks, with users soaring from 7.7 million to 19.6 million last year. The first half of 2020 could also herald Revolut's launch in the United States should the firm manage to clear the regulatory hurdles. It has also been eyeing expansion to Latin America and Asian markets. As recently reported, Mark Hipperson, the co-founder of fellow UK-based neobank Starling, is planning to launch a new banking venture, Ziglu, in Q1 2020. The bank will offer balances in multiple currencies, both fiat and cryptocurrency, held together in one account, which can be spent globally using a MasterCard debit card. Hybrids, combining the features of legacy banking services and cryptocurrency transactions, continue to develop. Coinbase this week announced its principal membership of Visa and crypto-dedicated banks such as Switzerland's SEBA and Singam as they continue to diversify their services. Right, that's a little bit of news. Now let's take a look at the numbers from around the world, cash markets, the indexes. Currently here in the U.S., the Dow's down another 351 points today. That's 1.25%. NASDAQ down 89. That's 1%. S&P 500 down 37. That's over 1%. And the Russell 2000 down 27. over 1.5%. In the commodity basket, crude oil is down 84 cents, trading 50.59 last. That's a drop of over 1.5%. Gold down $29.50, trading 16.4710 last. That's a drop of 1.75%. In the Asian markets at the close, Nikkei posted a loss of 781 points. That's over 3%. Shanghai dropped 18. The Hang Seng put green on the screen, closing up 72 points on the session. And in European markets, the FTSE dropped 138, 2%. DAX dropped 244, 2%. The CAC dropped 112. And you guessed it, that would be 2%. That gives us a mixed day in Asia, thanks to the Hang Seng and those 72 points. But it's a red day in the UK. And a big red Radio Tuesday here in the US of A. Let's go to Michael and get a recap of everything that happened this morning in the live training room. After that, I'll be back. We'll take a look at our Concierge Trade Alerts. We'll take a look at Logic 247. And we'll chat with John if he pops in. So Michael, if you're ready, take it away.
Okay, I am ready. Let me just change it over to here. There. Okay, so we had a pretty active morning this morning. And
There you
should
go. You're locked and loaded.
Okay, excellent. All right, I got it. Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everybody. Today is Tuesday, the 25th day of February, 2020. Excuse me. Today, well, first of all, we'll go to take the free trial, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. Come here, right over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that or any one of these other things down here, they will all bring you to this page, EminiTrainingschool.com. On this page, all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us your biggest trading challenge, so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Now, the one-on-one is unlimited once you become a partner. We'll do it while you're on a trial, but we'll also do it, once you become a partner. Hit the send button and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. Okay. Once you do that, then we know you took the free trial, and we can give you everything you need so you can spend 5 luxurious days with us in the live training room. Okay, so if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 25th day of February 2020. Today we made 8 ticks in the euro, 2 ticks in crude, 16 ticks in gold, and 12 ticks on the ES. That put us up to 380 on the morning session. Today it took 17 minutes and 1 trade to get to $100 a contract, and we took a total of 7 trades. So on the month now, we're up $3,003. That's over 15 days. We're averaging $200 per contract per day. On the year, $5,802 over 34 days, averaging $170 per contract per day. Okay. Now, again, the goal is to get you to trade more contracts. You have to work your way up to more contracts. Not to trade so you can make a ton of points. Though today was a pretty active day, and there was a lot of trading available there today. I'm going to scroll all the way back to the beginning here, and here it is. All right, so right here, well, actually right here was a long opportunity at 9:33, but I missed it. The markets they were really fast right at the beginning today. Right there. And I missed that one. And then it flipped sides and started to go down. But it was just resetting the cycle is essentially what it was doing. Here was another trade that I missed. But this is where we got the goal for the day. I grabbed this one right here. And I took 10 ticks out of that. Then it changed directions. And here it gave a short. Nice short right there. Okay. And another one right there. Okay. Now you got to look at the cycle down here. You see, step one is make sure you have a trend. So we really didn't have a trend in here. And the cycle down here is pretty much telling you the story. Okay. Over here, once we started to move up, the cycle was moving back up. We had to bounce off the BBC right here. But we didn't have much of a trend, so I didn't do anything with that one. But I did take one tick off the next one. And we missed that. It's a shame because it was a great trade. It worked out really well. Let's see, we'll scroll, keep scrolling. See, there was no trend in here. And down here in the slingshot, it's telling us the whole story. Then finally we established a trend, but I missed both of those trades. And then it turned around and started going the other way. See a head right here and a shoulder, and a shoulder. Once it broke down through that shoulder, there were opportunities here. There was a shorting opportunity right there. And we grabbed, what did we grab? 5 ticks from this. And I missed that one while I was logging the other one. Then you see we have higher highs and higher lows. So there would have been an opportunity here, but the black step line crossed down below the BBC. That was what the problem was with this long trade right here. Then it got choppy and sideways, and it gave us another opportunity right here. And this is toward the end of the session this morning. But we missed that. It didn't put in a lower swing, and then it got really choppy. Okay. And then, boy, that head and shoulder pattern. I'm going to have to go look at that again in a minute. Right here was a shorting opportunity, but this is all during the break now. Okay, it got really sideways right here. No trades. One short from right here. No trades. No trades. This is all during the break. Okay, a shorting opportunity from right there. And a long opportunity from right here to grab that leg up. And that was pretty much it for gold today. So there was a lot of activity. A lot of trades were there. We only took 3, but we made 16 ticks, and so we got our goal for the day. Okay, now on the euro, let's see. On the euro, we took this one trade right here. We picked up 8 ticks on that one trade. It should have put in a higher swing right here, but it failed to. Then it pulled back down, didn't put in a lower swing, and then it went and put in a higher swing, and then it just kept going up. Sadly, we didn't get any trade setups on the way up. It was just going up. And right here, coming off the high of the day, it looked like it had to do a cycle reset right here. We had bearish separation. We're trading above the BBC in an uptrend. So what you would anticipate at this point is a big move up. So a new higher high. It pulled back, dragged the green line all the way down, dragged the cycle back down. And now what I would anticipate is a big move up. Get that cycle blue and up here. Get the green line down here on a pullback. Okay. That was the euro today. Crude oil. We only had one trade in crude today that we actually executed. There were more than one trade. Okay, here. We missed this first one. All right, then we changed directions and there was a long opportunity right in there. We missed. We picked up 2 ticks on this one. It failed to put in a higher swing. Then it came back down. And right here, it was putting in new lows. That's why we didn't draw any ellipses. Okay, it was putting in new lows. Then it came off the low of the day. And right here, it closed up above the trend line. And that was a long opportunity that I didn't get filled on. I did try. And this was a shorting opportunity that I didn't get filled on. And then we get into the break. And let's see, during the break, I got to draw a trend line, but I think, yeah, there was a shorting opportunity right here during the break and a long opportunity right here during the break, neither of which really did much. No, it would have given you a few ticks. And over here, the slingshot wasn't set up. And right now, we got the low of the day right down below us, so we got to keep that in mind. Okay, that was crude. Now the ES was really moving today. I mean, it was all over the place. It was, kind of hard to keep track of. While I was watching all the other markets. Let's look at that. I'm gonna back it out a little bit. Now you see the fib levels here? Those are from the 30-minute chart. And I was saying this morning that, see, it starts way up here. Now, coming down, there was a shorting opportunity right here for that leg down, but everything was moving really fast. And I mean, all the markets are moving really fast. And I was trying to trade gold, and then I had problems with my DT Pro this morning. I had to restart it twice. So I wasn't catching everything. But there was a long trade right here to grab that leg up. Then it flipped around and had a short trade right there. And then it got really choppy and sideways. And another short trade right there. And nothing there because the slingshot wasn't giving it. Long trade from right there. I'm just looking at the slingshot here. Now I'll blow it up a little bit. See, it's kind of hard because there was so much movement. All right, we had a short trade here. On the first one, we picked up 4 ticks. And then the slingshot got all sideways on us. Looks like right in here, there was another short right there for that leg down. Now, well, yeah, I think we're going into the low of the day. That's why I didn't put an ellipse on that, right? And all this was down at the low of the day at the time. Okay. There, you can see a little better that way, I think. Now we're an hour in. There was a long trade here. That would have been a break even. A long trade here that you could have taken a little profit on. A follow-up long trade right here for that leg up. A short right there. A long right here for that leg up. A short right here. We picked up 8 ticks on this to get us to plus 12. We missed that one, and that one. And it was going down to get back down to the low of the day here. It looked like that's what it was trying to do. And let's see. A short trade right there. And it turned around and it started going long, but didn't give a trade setup that we could execute. A short right in here. Okay, and if you missed that one, well, there was a long right here, a bounce off the BBC type long. Okay. Then over here, another short. It needed to put in a lower swing, but it failed to. Okay. And this is all getting toward the break here. Okay. There was a long opportunity right here that should have put in a higher swing, but it failed to. Let me just see. See, this is all getting toward the break, so I wasn't doing anything here, so I didn't highlight anything. There was a long opportunity right there. And another one right there. And a shorting opportunity right here. Right there. Yeah, it would have been right there. Right there. Okay, and this is all during the break now. There was a long there that really should have put in a much higher swing, and it failed to. There was a short. Well, we weren't really trending, so I wouldn't do anything with that. But I would have taken this right here. Okay. And then it flipped around and started going long again. And it started going long again, and there was an opportunity right here on the long side to grab that leg up. If you didn't get it right back here, you could have gotten it right here. Okay, to gain some points. Now again, the goal is not to make 50 ticks a contract. The goal is to make 10 ticks a contract, or in this case, 8 ticks. And you can see it was all over the place today. The ES was. It still is. And look at these legs right here. It's all over the place today. And so there's a lot of opportunity. A lot of opportunity. And anyway, that was our morning session. So let me go back here to the spreadsheet. Again, if you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today's the 25th day of February 2020. Today made 8 ticks in the euro, 2 ticks in crude, 16 ticks on gold, and 12 ticks on the ES. Put us at plus 380 in the morning session. Today it took 17 minutes and 1 trade to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $100 a contract. And we took a total of 7 trades. So on the month now, we're up $3,003. That's over 15 days, averaging $200 per day. On the year, we're up $5,802. That's over 34 days, averaging $170 per day. Again, the goal is to get you to trade more contracts, not to try to get as many points as possible. But it's up to you. All right, we'll go back here and here. If you have not taken the free trial, go to the homepage at CFRN.net. And over here in the right-hand column, it says 5-day free trial, apply.cfrn.net. If you click on that, you will be sent to, you will be sent to this page, where all we ask for is your name, your email, and your phone number. You can tell us your biggest trading challenge so we can tailor one-on-one training specifically for you. Okay, hit the send button and you'll be sent a confirmation link. You must click on the confirmation link. All right, if you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial. So you got to do that. Okay. And let me scroll down here. Okay. And that's it. That was the morning session so far. Well, the morning's over. It's now the afternoon session, but there was a ton of opportunity today. A ton of opportunity. And with that, we'll pass it back out to Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Dwayne, if you are ready. And John just popped in too.
Yes, sir. I am ready.
Okay.
All right, guys. As soon as we're done talking to John, we'll address last night's Concierge Trade Alerts. We'll take a look at the results. We'll take a look at Logic 247. And, of course, answers to your questions. John, welcome to the show.
Hi there. Thanks very much. Well, they're trying to rally this thing off this most recent bottom here. And they were doing quite well a minute ago, but unfortunately it's kind of starting to look like it's going to roll over again. And this 9,000 number is a big deal on the NASDAQ. And we've already gone through that 3230 number that Morgan Stanley or somebody like that said, would bring in a lot of selling. So they were right. It doesn't help that I don't know whether you saw this, but the Iranian deputy health minister got infected with this thing. Can you believe it?
Wow. No, I hadn't heard that.
Yeah. So we're dealing with a market in which it's very difficult for these rallies to hold. And I would say actually we're kind of getting a buy on the metals right now after this pullback. Not quite yet, but get ready to jump on because I think they might go back up pretty fast. The VIXs, we got a rebuy on those this morning at the open, and we've actually had a lot of interesting trades. Roku actually opened higher. A lot of these stocks were higher before the open. Apple was up $3, Microsoft and things like that, and of course they opened higher and then they sold them off. But given we went down, 300 plus points yesterday on the NASDAQ, 400, we might have to go down as much as 200 points today before we can mount a rebound. Usually, it's probably about 50% of yesterday's, so another 500 points down on the Dow, which we're pretty close to. We kind of rallied off that. But the fact that we couldn't hold the rally is a problem for sure. So, what this is right where we are right now is pretty critical. If they can hold it here and get the rally going again, and then it would be, they could get a rally going that could produce a lot of short covering and possibly be quite a remarkable rally. Especially if we went back positive today, that would be epic. Not a very high likelihood of that, but something you can't rule out. if there's intervention and things, could happen. It's a Tuesday. Unfortunately, it's a down Tuesday, which is really bad news, because it kind of, given the week we're in, we said, you and I both said a while back, we thought Dow would come back about 3,000 points, and we're kind of, 2/3 of the way
Here's the
there
S&P on the daily, John. Remember, we drew out those levels yesterday that we thought we could potentially see. And
yeah, that was a good call for a rally attempt.
we hit the first one, and it bounced. And then when it failed, it took us right down to this level. And then we've got this level, which is just under the 50% Fibonacci retracement based off the October 3rd low.
Yeah. Yeah, that looks like it's where it's going to go, probably 30-60, somewhere like that. Might be the number, a little bit below that, and then they could come back up through it.
If we take this one out, John, there's the 62 fib, but I'm actually more interested in these two tops here.
Yeah, back test.
I can see those becoming support.
Yeah.
And then we put ourselves in position for another year, 2, 3 years of the bull run.
You're right about that, because if things do get under control, this thing could really rebound with a vengeance.
But right here is open season. This is an air pocket, and if price pushes much lower, we'll probably close on the lows of the day. If we don't get some kind of support, some kind of buying support that turns this thing around right here, and on the 30-minute, is not there.
Yeah, it's bad, because as I said to you yesterday, we had a kind of a bottom attempt, and I said they'd rally it overnight, which they did, but it kind of got up to like 100 higher on the Nasdaq. I think I saw at one point it was up 132, something like that. That was about it, and now we're minus 114, so we've had about a pretty big turnaround to the downside. The
open last night looked like we had a rally attempt coming, and it turned out to be nothing more than a head fake.
Yeah, actually, we put in a pretty good test last night for that rally, and that was a good, right?
We came off this double bottom here, rallied, held the pullback, but we failed to take out those highs, and that rolled it over.
And now we've broken down through all those tests last night, so it's really bad. And in a way, we've kind of, this rally last night, believe it or not, is kind of, the failure of this rally last night, more importantly, is creating a downside acceleration in the stock.
Right.
So, the funny thing is, with the gold stocks, is that when you get a sell-off in stocks, they tend to drag the gold stocks down initially. It's just a thing that happens, and so that creates opportunity for people who want to get back in on a dip, and because the rebound, which I think is starting to unfold here right now, is kind of it's certainly a lot better entry price than a couple of days ago. And,
my suggestion is don't buy the rallies.
No, well, I mean, you got to kind of buy the dips. That's the thing.
I think you're safer selling the rallies, at least for the next day or so.
Yeah. So this is really freaking a lot of people out, I think, this whole thing right now. So and all the things that we couldn't understand a week or two ago are manifesting themselves pretty strongly in United Airlines, FedEx, Boeing. Boeing got an order yesterday for 12 Dreamliners from somewhere, and didn't really do anything for the stocks. Stock's not even. It's down.
There
down.
it is on let me change it to a daily. There we go.
Yeah. So, and this acceleration downwards now is pretty tough. So, we're down 400, we're down 488 on the futures. So the futures, the Dow's down 451 right now. So the futures are leading the Dow lower, which is also not a good thing.
The Russell's really leading to the downside.
A sudden recovery, maybe right about here, possibly. So
Russell short 16 at 28 was last night's Concierge Trade Alert. I mean, the Dow was 28075. And that's right here. 28075. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, sorry, I got disconnected there. Yeah, here it's somewhere in around here. There might be an opportunity for bounce, because the funny thing is, we're making lower lows on the stocks. In the indices, but we're actually off. We're not making lower lows in Apple and Amazon and things like that. And Microsoft, they're kind of holding the fort right now, and that's a kind of a positive, actually. If they can muster a rally here, that could change everything, because it'll pull the indices back up and potentially put in a kind of a double bottom here, or what I call a 1.5 or 1 3/4. We're not there yet. If we start breaking down in all the fangs, then it's really, really tough. So, and we are starting to pick up on the gold a little bit more. What's the word? Authoritatively right now. So, since as I'm talking, Royal Gold's just rallied about $0.50, and Nugget also is starting to rally, so that's a kind of a good sign. Actually rallying before the gold itself. And look, if they do pump the market here and we do get a turnaround, gold and the market going up together is usually a good thing. So that may be what is actually coming next. So we are getting a little bit of, Apple in particular is kind of holding up quite well, considering the route that we're getting at the moment, and Microsoft also. If we, like I say, we're only down 114. If this is as far as it goes, if this is as bad as it gets, and we actually do rally here, and end up getting close to positive, or maybe even, I think we go positive, the market could absolutely rip higher, because there's probably a lot of shorts in there, and they may be able to squeeze these shorts quite strongly. So we'll see. But it's not. So
institutions long the S&P. Where do you think they got their stops?
I don't know. If they're not stopped out already.
That's what I'm thinking. We may have already seen those stocks trigger. And at some point, buying will come in. Bargain hunters, bottom fishers, they'll come in. And,
there's always a rally. They often come at the worst point, So and when they do it, they usually, they want to smash down the VIXs. When they start smashing the VIXs, that's usually means we're going to have a pretty good rally. So, and they look right now. The most important thing is holding at least the Nasdaq itself. The Nasdaq Composite is still above 9,000. The futures are just down a little bit from there, but if we get it back above 9,000, I think that would be important for the futures as well. So the hold on a sec, I'll be right with you.
Go ahead. On the S&P, last night's Concierge Trade Alert. If you didn't get a screenshot and you want to grab it, there's another shot. Consider being short 32.29 on the S&P. We had a $400 per contract move. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So we pop right back up to last week's weekly trading zone. Rolls it over. We trigger a second time. And we even triggered a third time. That third time took us down $2,500 per contract traded. Now, anyone who's earned the right to trade 10 contracts, it's a $25,000 move. Not a bad Tuesday.
So,
Go ahead.
yeah. Jesus, hold on.
Go ahead. All right, let's look at the NQ. All right, last night's instructions on the NQ. We're considering short 91.33.
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
Yeah, look, I don't know. This it just it's an awful heavy market right now, and the market probably like we've never experienced before. You know, this kind of psych. You know, the psych of the market is really it's just very. You know, like Tesla, for example, we kind of nailed that. You know, you and me, we both agreed that it was going to go lower, in spite of the bulls who thought it was going to go higher, and it's certainly got clocked. I mean, look at Boeing; that looks terrible. That stock.
That was Boeing. Here's Tesla.
Yeah, you know, I mean, look, it's all reds. It's really bad. We've had all reds there for the last few days, and now we got that big down red. So it's, you know, if it's gonna hold, it's got to hold right about here. You know, I guess it could go down to that dotted line, but
well, I mean, there's potential support in this area,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it doesn't look convincing to me.
yeah. Yeah, now we're rolling over again, so it's it's really this is you know, I think this could be the last straw if we don't get any kind of reprieve. You know, it's probably the last straw here for the fangs.
Guys, we're entering that window of opportunity from 31.65 down to 31.35. There's a potential 30-point trade short on the S&P right in front of you. Be careful. Do what you will. Not a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Yeah, but you might give it some consideration because it's unfolding right in front of you, right here, right now. Dow is down,
Yeah.
what, about 400 points on the day? What were we down yesterday? 1,000 at one point?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, what did you see Trump over in India?
I caught just a little bit of it.
Yeah, pretty impressive. He did
I
a hell
think
of a
it was
job, actually.
Getting them on our side. What a coup.
Yeah, no, it's huge. And he really gave a speech of a lifetime yesterday. It was just amazing.
He continues to out-deliver each time, every time he steps up.
Yeah, I think you know, look, the Bernie thing is definitely it's probably partly hurting the market a bit too and helping the gold.
Hillary announced that she will support whoever the nominee is, but I believe this thing goes to a brokered convention and she becomes the nominee.
That's well, you know, look, the one thing about elections is,
But she can look back, in the future, she can look back and go, see, I said I would support, I was rooting for everybody, but now that it's come to this, I guess I'll just have to accept the job.
and that's a big deal because, it's her third time, and third time contenders often, succeed. Nixon, I think he was a 2 or 3 timer before he won. So same with Bernie. And so that's a factor that has to be taken into consideration. Because it's almost like,
So what people don't understand is the purpose of socialism is to create communism. It's just a stepping stone.
Yeah, you ask why is Bernie doing as well as he's doing right now? And I think a lot of the reason is because he was cheated out of it the last time, and it's kind of like Trump and the witch hunt,
Even Trump's rooting for Bernie.
Well, the impeachment thing is obviously a plus for Trump because it's unfair. I mean, most
Everybody sees it. Yeah.
Most people, have come to that conclusion. So that's a big thing in his favor. But there's, a lot of people can forget about that, and it's a lot could change by election day. But there are these kind of tendencies or trends that can swing an election. I mean, this guy in Mexico, this is his third try, and what he pulled off was a little bit like what Trump did in 2016. I mean, this guy basically created his own new party, basically just in a stunning campaign, stunning kind of strategy, and it just blew everybody away with a huge majority. So, and something like that could happen in the U.S. In the next sometime in this decade. Something totally revolutionary, like an independent president or something like that. Because I think people are getting tired of this gridlock that's going on with the current situation, where it's just untenable. I mean, there's a bitterness going on between the sides. It's just crazy. It's absolutely insane. It's almost childlike, the sort of things that these people get up to. And incidentally, the metals are starting to accelerate now.
Okay, we'll take a look at them.
Yeah. Look, when you are in this position, even though it looks against all odds right now, rallies can come out of nowhere, and we're not having it. This is another rally attempt right here, just now. So it's actually, what Apple just started picking up. They just put on $1 here, just like that, bang, just jumped.
Apple did.
So I think this is probably it. And I just noticed there was some sell tendencies coming in on the VIXs too. So if they can bang them.
30-minute of Apple.
Yeah, and this is what makes these bottoms so hard to pick, because you have to move real quick on them, because the risk, chasing them is kind of risky. Not normally, but in this kind of a market where it can just like fall apart in a nanosecond, you can get in and get your head handed to you. So it's kind of difficult, but we're definitely seeing some sort of maybe a bit of intervention here where the fangs are getting some support. Like I say, they're not making new lows, and that's on the day, and that's pretty significant. So, and look, if we do get traction here, I would say if we get back to, looks like we're going to go back to less than 100 down on the Nasdaq. That would be certainly as an achievement. If we get down to less than 50, then you're really talking about the possibility of closing the gap to going green, and that would be quite certainly be a relief.
Are you
to
talking
everybody.
the NQ?
Yeah, certainly be a relief to everybody. But see that now they just slammed it down, so that's what I was saying about trying to pick a bottom like this. It's a little bit risky. So
Yes.
and now the rally in Apple's turned into a sell, so that's really bad.
Like I said, guys, don't buy the rallies, sell them.
Yeah, that's how fast things are happening here. So it's really quite volatile and a little bit panicky. So.
All right, John.
All right, listen, have a great afternoon.
Thanks
All the
very
best.
much. Have a great day.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, back to the S&P. Last night's Concierge Trade Alert was at sell 32.29. First drop was good for $400 per contract. The second trigger, important prices, important areas, almost always tested. This time it's a $2,500 per contract move. On the Dow, the alert was to be short 280.75. We made a 175 point per contract move. Just like the S&P, important prices, important areas. We get back above the trigger, and this time we drop 700 points per contract. Now, while the S&P pays 50 a point, the Dow pays 5 a point. But if you do the math, 7 times 5, I believe, is still 35. That's a $3,500 per contract move. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's a $35,000 move. Right there in front of you on a 30-minute chart over a period of 1, 2, 3, we'll call it 4 hours. Not a bad Tuesday. Not a bad Tuesday. In Q, last night's Concierge Trade Alert that was received by every single CFRN passport holder said to be short 91.33. The first move dropped us $1,000 per contract. Important prices, important areas. Almost always tested. The second trigger dropped us $3,460, give or take, per contract. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's also a $30,000 per contract move. Not a woulda, coulda, shoulda, because this went out last night, as do all the alerts, before they trigger. After they're triggered. If we sent them out after they triggered, boy, that would kind of take the excitement out of it, wouldn't it? No, these numbers come out ahead of time. Just seems fair. On the Russell, let's take a look at the Russell and figure out what happened to my chart. The Dow's fixed, my Russell's fixed. Here we go. All right, let's get the indicators out of the way for a minute. Okay, as I said, Russell, big leader to the downside. Now, as the S&P 500, or the 500, large cap companies. Vic, your logic for exiting. I don't have a logic for exiting any of those yet. But I have shown you the exit signal before, and I'll show it to you again here in just a minute. Thanks for asking. On the Russell, the alert was to be short 1628. And that's going to be right here. 1628. All right, first drop. Yeah, let's put it on there. Sell 1628. All right, the first drop took us to 2480. We'll call it 25. 3-point move. That's $150 per contract traded at $50 a point. And important prices, important areas, almost always tested. So we had our first trigger, then we get our second trigger, and our second trigger takes us from 1628. Alexa, 1628 minus 1585.
1628 minus 1585 is 43.
Alexa, 43 times 50.
43 times 50 is 2150.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good morning.
And you as well. $2,150 per contract move. Okay. All right. Now, Vic, take a look at this. All right. We got a bearish cross. Price pull back to the BBC. Exactly what we expect. And then we trigger. This entry is not as enticing as this one, because here we're free falling. We know at some point we're going to revert to the mean. So after reverting to the mean, that makes this trigger very attractive. Now, you've got red and falling. Price is red and falling. These are 30-minute candles. We don't have a green candle in the bunch, except the one printing right now. Down at an old support and resistance zone. Actually, that's a current one. Actually, this week it's 16, no, 15. No, it's an old. That's what I thought. These are zones from last week. So, but that doesn't have anything to do with what I'm going to show you. This is called the step line. It steps over and it steps down. Steps over and steps down. Steps over, steps down, steps over, steps down. Steps down. At some point it's going to step over, and instead of stepping down, it's going to step over again. That's called the step line crossing red and falling. When the step line crosses red and falling, your exit is the first green candle that closes above the step line. Just like here on this short trade. Okay. Okay, we're short, red and falling, we're red and falling, we're red and falling. We had a zone, we expect that to be support anyway, so you could take your profit there. But you see how the step line crossed over? The closing price of this green candle was 1636. So this trade went from the 1649 entry to the 1636 exit to the tick. From 1636 to 1649, that's 13 points at $50 a point. From the entry to the exit signal, the indicators told you to get out of this trade right there at that price. And over here, same thing's going to happen, but in the opposite direction. If price stops falling, and we have no indication yet that it is, because When the move's over, you see how price walked sideways to create this scenario? Same thing's going to happen here. Price first has to stop falling, then it walks sideways, then the step line crosses, then it's just a matter of time. You can take profit there, or you can wait for price, in this case, to close above, the first green candle to close above that step line. Just as in a short trade, just like this one, step line, first close above. It's the actual opposite. Same scenario, but an opposite for a long trade. So cover the S&P, $2,500 per contract move. Cover the Dow, $3,500 per contract move. The Russell, $2,000 per contract move. NQ, $3,460 per contract move, based off the alerts given to every CFRN passport holder last night. If you have not begun the journey, if you're still struggling, if you look at the charts every night when the market's open, you have no idea what's going on, where's price going, what's it trying to do. Well, that's not complicated. It's not even expensive. It's simple, affordable, and available. If you have a desire to learn how to trade, money is no longer an obstacle. Take a look at the upper right-hand corner of my screen. Start today, zero down, no payments for 6 months. Call Valerie, 949-42 Emini, support at CFRN.net. You can have alerts just like this in the private Telegram channel, which you'll be given access to. Remember, yesterday's Concierge Trade Alert that every one of our traders got turned into a $5,000 per contract move. For the trader who's earned the right to trade 10 contracts, you can do the math. Which led into last night's alert, and you can do the math. Okay? There's not some new shiny indicator or oscillator every week. There's not some new theory, you know, some new anything that just came down the pike. We got out of that business a long time ago. What we teach you is how markets work. Once you understand how markets work, you can then understand what they're doing. And once you understand what they're doing, you have an opportunity to actually become a consistently profitable trader. I'll give you one example. All right. Where's the 9:30 opening bell? I know that's when most people show up for work. We work around the clock, but hey. All right. 9:30 opening candle, 30-minute. We trigger short. Nobody who's a part of the CFRN family has any interest in going long. That's like stepping in front of a bus or something. So let's bring up a 5-minute chart. This is the ES. Just back it up to the 9:30 opening candle. That would be this candle right here. Now what happens? We get a bearish cross. Price pulls away from the BBC, pulls back to physically touch, gives us a down close. So the open of the next candle, 32.30, which just so happens to line up with this alert sent out last night, 8, 9 o'clock, that said to sell that price. Over here, the number's 32.30 over here. The number given to our traders last night 32.29. And so from 32.30, right there is just a fast drop to the candy shop at 3,200. That's 30 S&P points. Then what happens? Price keeps falling. Now over here, you're kind of concerned because you've been taught, yeah, don't try to catch a falling knife. And I agree. You can't just walk into a chart like this and go, oh man, the market's dropping. Because how many times have you done that? Oh, we just took out this low and this low and this low. I'm going to go short right here. And the market grinds to a halt. And for no explainable reason, rallies up just enough to stop you out. It's not fun. I know. Been there, done that. Okay? So, no reason to do that when you can do this. Get out. No, price did not just pull back to the BBC, give you a down close, drop below blue and climbing, and then go from 31.86 all the way down to 31.66, another 20 S&P points, another $1,000 per contract traded. Did that really happen? Here's the charts. Today's charts. No photoshopping required. And you know what? At the 5 minutes, too strong for you? Because some people like little bitty tiny time frames. You know, I understand. Leaves no room for error, right? Why is there so much error? Now, we teach our core methodology with a very fast chart. Because if you can learn to operate on that fast chart and see tons and tons and tons of legitimate trade setups each and every day, when you step out to this larger time frame, it'll be like you just got a new office. Double the square footage. You can stretch and sit. You can even go to the bathroom. Make a sandwich, pet the dog. Alright, so we were talking about the 930 candle, right? There's 930, there's 931. Bearish cross. Price pulls away, price pulls back to physically touch. Down close here at 32.33. So what's that, a 3-point better entry than the 5 minute gave you? But watch what happens. You got the leg, the retracement, you got the leg, you got the retracement, right? So if you're going to watch in 1 minute, you're going to have to sit still here. Because we know the trend is down. We just need to know a low risk, high probability place to get short. And then the market hands it to you right here. 32.27 down to 3,200. If there is any such thing as a secret to trading, it's called simplicity, a couple time frames, an indicator set that actually does something that gives you clarity that repeats over and over day after day. In fact, if you go to youtube.com/CFRN, you'll find years of daily radio broadcasts just like this, where each and every day we break down the charts, we show you exactly what we told our traders the night before, and then we show you what happened. Go back a week, go back a month, go back 2 years. There's thousands of hours of these recaps out there. You won't see any new indicators. You won't see new methodologies. You won't see new strategies. We haven't changed anything. Not even a line of code, I don't think, in 7 years now. Maybe 8. This is live, real-time results. When you become a passport holder, you have access to the live training room every day for 2 hours. You receive the Concierge Trade Alerts that I just went over with you. You even receive the Logic 247 alerts. Those are the around-the-clock alerts. Whenever opportunity develops, be it 2 a.m. or 2 p.m., you'll be notified, if you want to be notified, via the private Telegram channel. We're currently in week 82 of Logic 247. We've issued 16 alerts, and that's completely separate from the Concierge Trade Alerts I just walked through with you. We've had 12 actionable alerts so far. All ran to the full target, and we've had one stopped out. So 8% of the Logic alerts this week have been stopped out. Again, there's the S&P, the NQ, the Russell, the Dow. We haven't done crude oil. Let's do it. Okay, last night on crude, go back to that channel. On crude, consider being short at 51 bucks. And from $51, we dropped to the zone below at 50.65. So I guess that's about a $350 per contract move. We consolidated here at this weekly trading zone, and now we're continuing to drop. The move is to the downside. Gold. Last night on gold, we said to consider being short 16.51, and that happened right here. From 16.51 down to 16.35. That's a $1,600 per contract move. And it happened basically in an hour. Important prices, important areas are almost always tested. So we get a second drop. And the number again was to sell 16.51. And so from 16.51 we then dropped to 44. That's $700 per contract traded, back above the trigger, and about a $600 per contract drop. So there you have it. Recap of the live training room today. Recap of the Concierge Trade Alerts. Recap of the Logic 247 alerts. And that's everything you receive when you become a CFRN passport holder. Now, you've heard it said 9 out of 10 new traders fail. I did the research to figure out why 9 out of 10 would fail at anything. It's because there were no teachers. Nobody was willing to take the time to actually teach a person how to trade. And why would they? Too busy making money. It's possible to be the 1 out of 10. But if you talk to traders who have succeeded, ask them if they had a teacher. 9 out of 10 of them will tell you Well, of course. How else could I have learned how to do this? Some people's brains see it exactly like that. Other people see it differently. Give that some thought. If you're ready to get started, if you're tired of the endless mystical indicators and magical oscillators and all of the stuff that works for a while and then ends up on a shelf, a digital shelf somewhere, because there's no consistency to it, not over time. If you're ready to learn how markets work, so that once you understand how markets work, at any given time, you can understand what the market is trying to do. And the market is far bigger than you or I. So, when we're able to discern what it is the market's attempting to do, where it's trying to go, what its objective is, we simply have to pinpoint the lowest risk entry possible to participate in the move of the market. That's a way that you can become a consistently profitable trader. Not to mention, along with the live training you receive every day, you have access to unlimited one-on-one mentoring sessions as you need them. You simply go to the website, find a day and a time that's appropriate for you, book it, Dano, and we'll see you there. Let's go to our good word for the day. Let's talk about God's recovery plan for you. 1 Samuel 30, verse 8. So David inquired of the Lord, saying, Shall I pursue this troop? Shall I overtake them? And God answered him, saying, Pursue, for you shall surely overtake them, and without fail you will recover all. God's word promises that whatever you are addicted to today, you can be set free. But wait, there's more. You can get back what you've lost, or something even better. How? By doing what David did when the Amalekite armies destroyed his home and took his family captive. The first thing he did was he turned to God for strength to deal with the problem. 1 Samuel 36, David strengthened himself in the Lord his God. I mean, face it. If you could have solved the problem by yourself, you'd already have done it, right? Don't feel bad about that. Feel good. Acknowledging that you are powerless is the first step to victory. 2 Corinthians 12:9. My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Acknowledging that you're powerless isn't the same thing as giving in to hopelessness. It means acknowledging that you can't, but God can, and that He will when you surrender the problem to Him. Number 2. God gave David a plan to deal with his problem. Pursue, for you will surely overtake them, and without fail recover all. Armed with God's strength and his plan, David went after the enemy and kept attacking until he recovered everything that had been stolen from him. And God wants to do that for you too. In Joel 2:25, he promised, I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten. When you turn to God, He can give you more joy and success in the years ahead than in all the years behind you. That's God's recovery plan for you and for me. And that's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you with His mercy and with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading Emini Futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.